Hi, this is Coach Shaw again. Right now we're going to look at hitting mechanics. We're going to use a video of Evan Longoria of the Tampa Bay Rays to demonstrate how a quality hitter swings the bat. Evan, you'll see he has kind of a narrow stance, and that's fine. His hands are high up by his ear, and his shoulder, elbow comes out right off his shoulder, and it's kind of high as well. He's upright in his stance. He's kind of tall in his stance. That's fine. Players have their own way of standing there and getting started. What we will see, though, is that all hitters will eventually get to a load position or a place where they're about to launch their hands, which will be right around their shoulders. Evan's going to take kind of a short stride, and he's going to land on his toe. Here we go, not too long. See, so he lands on his toe there. He hasn't turned. What he's actually done is he's kind of turned his shoulder inward a little bit. We see his hands have gone backwards. His hands have dropped back a little bit. Let's look at that again. As he moves out, he turns his shoulders in. His hands are going to kind of move back, get ready to go, get the launch position. They're getting close to his shoulder height, close to his armpit. From here, he's going to drop his heel down to the ground and get ready to go into to fire his hips. What you're going to see is that this rear knee is going to actually start moving in first as he goes into his turn, and then he's going to get up on this rear toe. There's the knee turning in. There it is. And he's keeping this front leg braced up and straight. He's not letting it float around or move anywhere. He's driving that back hip around. And really and truly, believe it or not, his shoulders are still pretty square. What he's doing, he's actually raising his front shoulder up and dropping his back shoulder down, so we can see there's a pronounced slope in here of his shoulders. Move around. Right now we're focusing on the lower body, so let's look at that and forget so much about the hands. Now this is the ending position. This is where we wanted to be, and this is where the first drill that you're going to see at the end of this video is going to come in. This is the landing position. You see he's up on his toe. His leg is at an angle here, about a 45-degree angle. His body is up over his knee, and his knee kind of looks like it just is cut off right here. It should go straight down into the ground. This front leg is straight, and you could see if you were to draw a line straight up here, basically his upper body is on that same line. So he's leaning back just slightly. He is not swinging up. Please let's not make the mistake of thinking this is swinging up. And then he's going to continue his swing around, and see he's still primarily in that same position. He's starting to look up to check out this bomb he just hit, but for the most part he's still in that same position. So going back over it, strides, plants on his toe. He's going to drop his heel. As he drops his heel, his back shoulder will drop. He will begin to move this knee inward and rotate his hips around, which pulls his knee, continues to pull his knee forward under his body. Let's move up the chain a little bit to his hands and arms. What you're going to see is he does not move his arms. His arms continue just like this throughout almost till he makes contact with the ball. It's going to look like his rear shoulder is dropping, his rear elbow is dropping down. It is actually not dropping down. The only thing that is happening is that his front shoulder is coming up and his back shoulder is dropping down. Watch. See, he will not move that elbow. It looks like it's dropping down. What's happening is this is coming up, and as he pivots around, his arms and hands stay in exactly the same position they were when he got ready to launch. And they're going to continue to do that around. And see, here he is at basically a contact point. This is a place you want to make contact with a pitch. He was just slightly out in front of this pitch, perhaps, and so he hits it a little farther out here. But this is a good contact point. You see his arms are still bent in the same way as when he was standing there waiting to launch. This arm is still bent as well. All he's done is taken his wrists and kind of extended them out so that they allow the bat to fly out to the zone. He's going to make contact out here a little bit in front. What he's going to do is he's going to kind of extend his arms out from here, and after he hits the ball, he's going to extend them through the ball, and then he's going to come around extending, and he's not going to roll his wrists until he's up here somewhere. A lot of players will roll their wrist right here, and that ends up topping the ball, and you end up hitting a weak ground ball somewhere. Let's take a look. Okay. Let's slow it down a little bit. Try it this way. Okay. Coming through, see he's extending out to the ball. That's where he hits it. But look at this. See, he's still largely got that box left. He's still got his arms in the same position. He's extending out a little bit to this ball, but he's still largely got his arms in the same position. He hits the ball, continues to straighten, to extend out. This is going to straighten out a little more. This is straightening out a little more. Continues to straighten. He has still not rolled his wrist over yet. He is hitting straight through the ball. And finally, up here, he's gonna kind of have his bat pointed out this way. That's a good finish. You get what they call a power V right here. And now he's finally starting to roll his wrists over. So he is not rolling his wrists over too early. All right, this grainy footage here that looks like the Zapruder film or footage of Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster or something is actually me trying to show you with Grayson how to do this first little drill, and that's just kind of getting the boy into the finished position so they get an idea of what it feels like. If they can start with their feet just together, facing this way, take a little stride outward, place this foot on the ground, and then they're going to just kind of lean back, straighten this leg out, and then let this toe come up, this heel come up, I'm sorry, this toe get on the balls of these feet, and then let the leg come up and bend at the knee at a 45-degree angle, and put their weight over the back leg there. And you can see it's pointing down towards the ground. He has a straight front leg, and he's bending back a little bit. He should be able to look down, kind of down his stomach and chest, and kind of line everything up with the leg. We do want it to be just a bit laid back. Once they drop their shoulders and rotate, that's going to automatically put them in kind of a laid back position. And they should feel the weight here in their quadricep muscles. They can do this while they're watching television, and they can do it, or they can do it 4 or 5 times in the evening. It's very simple to do. Just get in this position. Dad, help them out. Help them to get into this finished position. Okay, now that you've practiced that end position a number of times and gotten used to what it feels like, and you've kind of started to build up your muscles, and you know the position that you want to be in, we're going to work backwards from there. And this is what we're going to work on now is going from, with the lower body, going from your stance position into your stride and getting those hips turning and getting into that ending position actually to contact point. We're going to, the way I like to teach this is have the boy put a small bat or something in front of their hips. The way you see Grayson doing here, he's got his hands so that he's just like he would be holding the bat. This hand, you could see the knuckles here. On this hand, he's got the knuckles on the back side. So it's just like you'd hold a bat, and he has his hands on either side of his hips. What this is going to do is isolate the lower body, make them forget about anything up here, and focus on driving their hips. What they're going to do is they're going to get in their regular stance here, and from here they're going to take a soft step outward onto their toe. They're going to then begin to move this back knee in and drop that toe as they start to drop this back shoulder. And they're going to then pivot around with the hip. Let's take a look at it. Okay, step out, land on the toe. Begin to see you drop that heel right there, and this began to move in. Heel drop, toe, heel drop. This is the first thing to move in, and the hips start to move just slightly, but the shoulders should still be square, and actually the shoulders start to come out, and the shoulders to drop just a little bit. Continuing around, you just pivots on the ball of this toe. Lift the back back heel, pivot on the ball of this foot, and drive around. He's in a position now where he's relatively straight, not completely straight, but that's okay. We're not looking for Pythagorean perfection here. We're just looking for a good structure. So here we have a straight front knee, and he's leaning back slightly. He might could lean back just a little bit more, but let's not get too picky with that. So here we see the concept of learning to get that rear Get that drive, get into the contact point. This is where you would hit the ball. This is contact. Again, we're not worried about the upper body, but this is how you would be when you contact the ball. So we've now learned how to go from this position into from the stance to the stride, drop to turn. You can do this also before you come to the first practice. If you will do the first drill and the second drill before the first practice, that'll help us kind of move along faster. And those who have done that will be able to move on to some of the stuff with the upper body and learning to actually get the bat into action.